We get to see but not touch the new Makita 40-volt platform.
Scott Brown shows off the world's most expensive circular saw, and we get our first look at see-through lumber.
This is your Power Tool Week in Review.
This episode is brought to you by Ohio Power Tool. Pro tools, pro service, all at the best prices at ohiopowertool.com. And Ego, power beyond belief.
Welcome back, Power Tool fans. I'm Rob.
And I'm Sarah. It's December 11th, 2020, and today we're going to talk about miter saws, staplers, lumber prices, and one big saw. And we'll get to all of that, but not until after you hit that like button. Now. Thank you.
All right, I know I've been a little hard on Makita for not bringing the 40-volt platform to the States, and I'm about to do it again. Just saying. Builds and Stuff, associated with Tools and Stuff, bought the Mega Makita 40-volt Super Duper Rob Can't Have It kit and made a 2-hour and 43-minute video digging into each one of the tools. Now, the video's probably pretty good. I have no idea because I didn't watch the 2-hour and 43-minute video because I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but Makita won't let me have their 40-volt tools. Fortunately, I'm not one to hold a grudge.
Where'd the Makita shelf go?
Yeah, I think it's in Australia somewhere. Anyways, if you're just as hungry for 40-volt action as we are, head over to Builds and Stuff on YouTube.
So the boys at Toolbox Buzz have been making more of their insane tool head-to-head videos recently, focused on all kinds of cordless miter saws. Last week they looked at the great big 12-inch saws, but this week the itty-bitty ones. Mr. Robillard gathered his very best buddies and unpacked a bunch of compact miter saws ranging from 6.5 inches to 8.5 inches, but most were 7.25. There were examples from Cobalt, Milwaukee, Bosch, Makita, Craftsman, DeWalt, and Metabo HPT. Yep, 7 compact miter saws, all anxious to prove to you that big things come in small packages. Of course, the team painstakingly tests each one for accuracy, performance, runtime, features, ergonomics. You get the idea. Want to guess the winner?
Sure, was it?
Wrong. You guys will be wrong too. To find out if you're right, go watch it at Toolbox Buzz on YouTube.
Was that really?
Yes!
All right, our buddy Scott Brown had a buddy of his own come over to show off a few new tools, including a Mafel circular saw that cost more than my first car and could probably cut it in half. Scott is usually busy building stuff over in New Zealand, but this week he decided to play a bit of show and tell with his friend Gaston from Piranha Tools, who brought over the biggest, most expensive circular saw we've ever seen. That is the Mafel MKS 185 EC circular saw, and that blade is a staggering 17 11/16 inch. Its cutting depth is 7.25 inch. I'm struggling to understand how he's even holding that thing. Of course, no one's swell like Gaston.
Strong as hell like Gaston.
Or has a huge saw from Mafel like Gaston.
Disney jokes in a tool show.
For the full review, head over to Scott Brown Carpentry on the YouTubes.
As long as we're on that side of the globe, let's check in with Mike and Dwayne of Oz Tool Talk, who decided to pair up Milwaukee's M18 Fuel Narrow Crown Stapler with its little brother, the M12T50. The M18 Narrow Crown drives 18-gauge quarter-inch staples, while the M12 drives T50s, which are 10mm flat crown. After putting both staplers to the test, they identify a few unique use cases for the M18, but both agree the price is a bit steep for most. But the M12, that has both guys excited. It's fast, powerful, and more affordable. Dwayne seems to have only one problem with the M12, and it's this.
And that is the winding unit for the depth gauge. It goes forever.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't actually lock
Just
out.
keeps and goes and goes and goes. And eventually you get to a point where it's like, it won't go anymore. It doesn't give you a nice hard click. It just kind of gets too stiff to move.
Yeah, right.
But I'm still going. Like how many depth settings do you need for a T50 stapler?
I don't know, but I think people are falling asleep at how long it's taking.
I think they are.
Wake up.
They took Baby Yoda.
You fell asleep.
Sorry. Oz Tool Talk and Staplers, great video.
Yeah. To watch the full review, head over to Oz Tool Talk on YouTube.
All right, it's time again for actual work with Rob Robillard.
Guys, how are you this week?
We're doing great, bud. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thanks for asking. All right, for this week's tip, I want to talk about getting the most out of your small shop, and I want to call it the tip, putting wheels on it. Look, portability in the job site is super important, but here in the workshop, mobility is more important. And what I'm getting at is that here in the workshop, I put wheels on everything. Why? Because I have a super small, narrow shop, and being able to push 300, 400, 500-pound heavy tools right up tight against the perimeter wall, out of the way, and opening up the floor space for my table saw or assembly table is huge. And I know lots of folks will make mobile bases or mount caches to their tools, and I really don't have time for that. I just buy my mobile bases. I look at companies like Rockler, Portamate, and Jet. Jet by far is the best. Mobile bases are ideal for moving, storing, and servicing tools in your workshop. And with such a small shop like I have, having all of my woodworking tools on mobile bases means I can store them tight against a wall, which opens up the center for assembly operations and stuff like that. But I can also roll them around with ease with one hand. If these tools were not on a mobile base, I'd have to have them further off from the wall. Dust collection would have to be in the back, cords, I need room to maneuver, and that just takes up too much center floor space. So there's a lot to like about mobile bases. And with a mobile base, when I need to access a tool, or say maybe run a long 16-foot board through them, I can simply just roll it out into the open floor and let the long lengths run down the length of the shop to collect my dust collection, whatever I have to do. Works great. With smaller lengths, a lot of times I can just joint a small piece on a machine right where it sits against the wall. I don't have to roll it out. Also, mobile bases allow it much easier for me to move the machine around for vacuuming behind it or refinishing the floor when that time comes, or reorganizing my shop and moving things around. Additionally, if you have a garage and everything is on mobile bases, you can pull everything out, use your workshop in your garage, and then when you're done, push everything back to the perimeter walls and park your car in again. That's it for the tip, guys. Put wheels on it. I hope this tip helps. Have a great week.
All right, so I feel like what Rob's trying to tell us is that if we like it, we should really put some wheels on it.
All right, Beyonce. Thanks again, Rob. It's time again for your construction industry news, courtesy of the Construction Junkie.
If I know one thing for sure, it's that wood ain't cheap. Thanks to the myriad of things including sawmills shutting down, wildfires, and of course millions of COVID shut-ins who suddenly decided that this was the time to remodel that bathroom while they wait out the virus. These price hikes have been a huge burden on the construction industry. Fortunately for all of us, the U.S. Department of Commerce has significantly reduced the tariffs imposed on Canadian softwood lumber from 20% all the way down to 9%. We're already seeing prices coming back down a bit, but the NAHB says there's still more work to be done to finally get prices back to normal.
Are you tired of building things with wood you can't see through? Me too! And a team of researchers from Forest Products Laboratory, the University of Maryland, and the University of Colorado think they have a solution. Transparent wood! This crazy group of tree lovers developed a process to remove the pigment from balsa wood, creating a completely transparent wood that they believe could be a far superior alternative to glass in windows. They claim their material is lighter, more durable, up to 5 times more thermally efficient, and more environmentally friendly than glass. This is clearly our future.
Oh, good Lord.
You were singing Disney songs.
So were you.
Then why are we yelling?
Good question! To read the full articles and for the rest of your construction industry news, head over to constructionjunkie.com.
If you're missing our Make or Break projects, you can find them on our new channel at Make or Break.
Last week, we talked about Milwaukee's decision to send their 12-volt into an 18-volt fight, which you can watch right here. Special thanks to Ego and Ohio Power Tool for sponsoring this episode. Guys, we could never do it without you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
We'll see you next week.